All right. Good afternoon, everyone. There I am. Thank you for joining me. It's been a while. My name is Todd Rains. I'm in my shop here in Allen, Texas. And it got warm yesterday. It's about 60, 65 here today. Yesterday got up to 80 almost, I think. Anyway, we got some up and down weather coming over the next few days, but we had a cold January. February is warming up. A little bit backwards for us, but anyway, I noticed some people here from Texas and seeing that their weather's all over the place. Where's Ted's comment? He's down in Sugar Land, which is just north of Houston, I believe. 16 days ago, 3.5 inches of snow, and now we had to turn the AC on. So yeah, it's a little bit psycho here in Texas sometimes, but perhaps we have it as best we can, considered some of the other places in the country getting it with storms. Anyway, on I go about weather. Hope you're all comfortable in your shops. It's been 8 weeks. 8 weeks, I think, since I've been in front of the camera here in my shop in the live stream. So December 13th, I think I salvaged some bowl blanks into smaller blanks and turned a bowl. I've got those blanks still yet to go. The 27th, we were, with family and stuff, so we didn't live stream on the 27th. And then December, January 1, I picked up this flu bug or something. I don't know, stomach bug. It wiped me out for the whole month, pretty much. It was, anyway, I'm better. I'm able to get up and walk around, get out in the shop. This is actually the first time I've turned the lathe on in 8 weeks. So, bear with me. This is a time for me to relearn how to turn. So, anyway, I hope that the holidays treated everybody well and stuff like that. So we have a few other people. Lee from Minnesota. A bunch of my stuff. Here's Paul Howard in the UK contingent. Charlie Taylor, Ian Coates, all from the UK. We got Trevor Park from Ontario. Thanks for joining, Trevor. Appreciate it. Temple Blackwood, good to have you here. Tim, Glenn, our friend Glenn in Florida. Mike Hardy is from Hill, Oregon. Snowy. Yeah, so I've heard there's been a lot of snow up there. Actually had a customer up there, couldn't get his package delivered because there's so many feet of snow in the driveway, so the postman couldn't get through. Anyway, so hopefully that's fixed for that customer. So Charlie, good to have you here. Lots of people. Our friend Cindy is here. She's got warm weather, 60 degrees, about the same here. It's a little overcast here today, but doing well. Thanks for joining, Cindy. Robert, California, rain has stopped, the sun is out. Wow, nice. Let's see. Shiloh, Illinois. Carl, good to have you here. Thank you. Wayne, hi to you too. Thanks for joining. And let's see. Going through. Dick, local member. Howdy, Todd. Howdy, Nick. Dick. So good to have you here. Thanks for joining. And let's see. Just going through. John from New Orleans. and Paul from Houston. Our friend Chuck here locally out in Fort Worth. Good to have you here, Chuck. Thank you. Michael from Illinois. Let's see. Well, we got a lot of people on today. Good to have everybody here. I don't know if I'll go through them all here right now, maybe a bit later. So here's a bit of the program today. Let me take that last one off. Where'd it go? I think there's a shortcut for that, but I don't know it. I created sort of a generic banner. I changed my picture here. I don't know if you noticed, but this thing's called All Things Woodturning, talking about wood materials, process techniques, and tools and equipment. So kind of a generic term, but in the description of this, when I talked about looking at my vacuum pump, converting it with from frugal vacuum chuck style to robust chuck styles, or I guess through the spindle vacuum versus vacuum through a tube through the spindle. So I'll look at that a little bit here. I think David, you kind of had this question, and it took me 8 weeks to get to it. I'm sorry, but hopefully you've managed it. It's actually, we'll show you, it's not anything big to do, but we got the parts and pieces here to talk about that. I figured maybe I would try and turn a tenon or remove a tenon, one or the other, I'm not quite sure, using that vacuum chuck once we get it set up. And I got a couple of gadgets here, well, at least one new one, and we'll have some giveaways. So I've got, let's get into some of the upcoming things, and we'll get into the giveaways here when I get there. So bear with me, and I'm just scrolling through. And if you got questions, put those in the comments. We'll answer those. I know I've got at least one question for people out there we'll get to when we get to the vacuum pump stuff. So, yeah, so let's see. A lot of people joining. John, Jack, another John, Bob, Elliot, KK. Good to have you here. Mike OB, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. And a few others. Ron, Oxford, Michigan, 13 degrees this morning. It's a little chilly. So hopefully things start to melt. Let's take a look at how we stay in touch. So if you're on my newsletter, then you're here because you've got the email for the live stream. If you want to pass this idea off onto your friends to join these things, do so. The QR code up in the corner is gets you right to the newsletter sign up. I realize you can't do that for your friends, but have them go to the website and sign up to the newsletter and get notified about these things. So if you got questions or anything, my email address, phone numbers, all on the website, right up there. Give me a call and email or whatever. I'm happy to talk to customers all day long if that's the case. So next up, our friend Cindy does a live stream. And is this the one? I think this is the one. Yes, live woodturning. Sign up to Cindy's email list to get notified when she'll be online. cindydroza.com/html/signup. I don't have a QR code for Cindy. I need to do that. But go to her website, sign up for her newsletter, and get notified when she goes online and when she's doing demos. So speaking of that, Cindy next is doing let me take that off for a second. Tomorrow. So sign up today. Finial box. I call it the famous and fabulous finial box. One of her most requested demos. Tomorrow starts at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 Central, for those in Central, 11 Mountain, I guess, and so on and so forth. So for the guys overseas, 1800 UTC. Anybody can convert that to the local time. So check that out. I'll be there co-hosting. It'd be good to have you there. And so buy your tickets now. $20 a person, and 6 months review of the replay. So that'll be fun. Look forward to doing that all the time, co-hosting with Cindy. So I think this just said, that's the email. Here's the finial box thing. That just says the same thing. Next, I have planned a demo. I'm calling it ring segmented sculptures. And basically, that critter there is I call him Critter Dom, is, excuse me, I should have muted before I coughed. Sorry about that. Part of the leftover of my January illness is ring segmented, and the little feet are integral. They're not glued on or anything. So we'll go through some of that. We'll learn multi-piece projects, face grain turning, work holding, segmenting in a different way. Look at curved surface techniques. I'll do a bit of fitting up and gluing up, and maybe some carving and embellishment. We'll see how much I can get done in 3 hours or thereabouts. So that one is February 22nd, Saturday, starting at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, for those who want to convert. So check that out. I'm happy to. Don't got tickets on sale yet. They should be ready this weekend, probably Saturday, Sunday. You'll see it in my newsletter. So another reason to sign up. So looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. Something different I did 2017, 2018, and something like that. So I've got a few extra pieces we'll play with as well. I'll make some, and we'll try and create something. So and then on, when did I sharing session? I forgot to put the dates on this banner. But there it is, February 28th. So we've got Cindy's demo on the 8th, my demo on the 22nd, sharing session on the 28th. So join that. The sharing session is a Zoom meeting. So you'll get the Zoom meeting link through my newsletter and through Cindy's newsletter. That's the only way to get the link. So then another reason to sign up to the newsletters. So there you go. Let me see. I think that is it. Yes. So let's go look at the overhead for a quick second, and that's not. Let me shift over there. Oops, my button's not working now. There we go. That was so this is what 8 weeks of not being in the studio does to you. It kind of messes you up a little bit. So a lot of stuff there to look at. We'll get to the vacuum pump here in a second. We're just going through the yeah. So there's, thank you, Cindy, for posting the links. That one, and Cindy's finial box. Sign up at cindydrozda.com, and that's going to be tomorrow. So that should be lots of fun. And I think that's it. Oh, I forgot that one. I don't know why. Thank you. Vendor showcase, April 5th. So, I'm not thinking I got to get that banner in there in my live stream. So April 5th is, I believe, a Saturday, and it's a 4-hour. We're going to do StreamYard this time, maybe Zoom. But it's 6 vendors. Myself from Woodturning Tool Store, Cindy from Cindy Drozda's Fine Art of Woodturning, Joe Fleming from Airbrushing Wood, Steve Worcester from turningwood.com, and Lyle Jameson from Lyle Jameson Woodturning. So this, and sorry, I missed one. Vicky Jordan from John Jordan Woodturning. So us 6 vendors get together. We share our tools, do little demos of the tools, talk about our specials. We'll do little demos and stuff like that. We may have some fun stuff to do. All this, we create collectives or collaboration turnings that we auction off for charity. This year's charity is St. Jude's Children's Medical Research Hospital. I think I got a couple of those words backwards. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. A great charity. I think it's a fantastic one. It's, I think, one I targeted about 4 years ago. So I keep picking that one because I like what they do. So thank you, Cindy, for the reminder, vendor showcase. And we'll get on. Let's see. Okay. Let me put the trackpad away. Hopefully I won't need it too much. I'll keep track of the, actually I'm going to put the whole thing over here on my tailstock. Oops. That's not locked down. And that way I got it closer at my right hand instead of my left. All right. Sorry. There we go. Let's zoom out a little bit and get me down the corner. So I've got, this is the kit that Robust sells as their vacuum hardware kit. So this is hardware that you might need to, if you buy a new vacuum pump, which Robust has on sale as well, or not on sale, but for sale. They have 3 vacuum chucks, a 3 1/4 inch, which is this little guy here. They're all aluminum, very well made. So 3 1/4 inch, there's a 4 1/2 inch and a 6 inch. I'll bring those over here. 4 1/2 and 6 inch. So that's a fairly big one. All aluminum machined and stuff. So these vacuum chucks, this hardware kit, the vacuum pump, and a few other accessories are available on Robust site. I have most of them on my site, not all of them. So this kit is what I was going to use to adapt my vacuum pump that I got from Frugal Vacuum Chucks. And what is the guy's name? Somebody's going to remind me in chat. Bob, I can't remember his last name at Frugal Vacuum Chucks. Anyway, I bought one of his systems probably 15 years ago at SWAT, and been using it on and off. Haven't used it much in the last few years, but there you go. And anyway, so I had brought in some of these products and wanted to see how they would work. So this hardware kit contains a length of hose, a filter. This is a pressure gauge, or a vacuum gauge, I guess. Lack of pressure. So that's in there. And then some of the hardware pieces. Teflon tape for taping up joints. A little bag of fittings. We'll go through that and we'll just kind of see how this would go together. So we got a manifold block, a few parts and pieces, a bunch of clamps. So the instructions are fairly straightforward. Basically putting all the parts and pieces together on this manifold, and then screwing them together. And I won't do it with the tape. We'll just kind of figure it out here a little bit, like that. Of course, you'd put all the Teflon tape on this and put it together, and then the gauge in this little box would go on top of there. This would screw into your outlet, I guess vacuum draw, and then your hose would go onto this part here. So that's essentially it. To get the filter in line, you have to cut a little chunk of hose, clamp on this guy out here with a little chunk of hose. You're not seeing that, sorry. And then hose clamp on the other side with the hose going to the spindle. So what is different between the Frugal Vacuum Chuck style and this style? So I don't know what to call them. Using vacuum including the spindle, or using vacuum not including the spindle, I guess, is kind of where we're at. So I'll just break this down quickly so I don't have it all sticking around. So here's one thing that I thought about, and one question that maybe somebody can answer out there. I know I've got quick disconnects on my air compressor, and I was thinking of putting a quick disconnect on this vacuum pump to quick disconnect from the what I'll show you in a second is the adapter on the end of the Robust handle, or the lathe. I'll show that here quickly. Let me get this out of the way. So can those air line quick disconnects, can they be used either way? Like for, I wish I had, I got the vacuum hose here. So here's, there we go. Here's the two pieces, right? So we got air going this way into this guy. Can you draw a vacuum this way? Or should these pieces be reversed if you're doing vacuum? I don't know whether that makes a difference. You know, this has a a spring-loaded section for doing connections, right? So does air pressure direction matter in terms of how those quick disconnects are used? So question I just came to my mind when I was trying to set this up. So let me bring this guy up, and we'll probably switch cameras here. And maybe you'll just give me a second to kind of set that up. All right. So here's the frugal vacuum chuck that I got from Bob Leonard. Thank you, Cindy. I knew it was something. Bob Leonard. So, and about 15 years ago. So the setup here is, here's the gauge. We've got a manifold block here. It's kind of very similar. It's a block, and is that focus? Well, I guess so. I think so. Tell me if the focus is okay. Yeah, looks good. All right. So, and out of that, we've got a handle to turn the vacuum on and on. And that port is open at the bottom here. So if you don't have vacuum, it's pulling here. Close the valve, it's pulling through the hose. So then the inlet is here at this juncture into the pump. And then the out, or the vacuum through the valve, goes this way. He's taped a switch on here, so it's a little, oh, I got it plugged in. Kind of freaked me out. I do have it plugged in, yep. So that's a little switch to turn it on. And if we turn it on, I got to fix the switch. Hold my finger down here, you start to get vacuum, right? So, and then on the other end of the, sorry about the noise, on the other end of the hose is the robust adapter. Now, I tried actually to take this off so I could show you the other method. So let me just show you this for a quick second, how this adapter works. And if we look at the end of our headstock handle, this adapter is going to go with that O-rings right into the middle of the handle there. If I can get that keyboard out of the way. There we go. And just slip in there. So now air is sucking through, a vacuum sucking through here, all the way out to the end of the spindle here. So now if I turn this on, turn that on, we've got vacuum there, right? So I have, here's this little bowl we turned last time. So that's now sucked on there. So, and that is drawing about 22 inches of mercury. So with such a small opening, it's not a very strong suction. If this is a bigger opening, be careful doing what I just did. So let me know how that noise is. I'm sure that's pretty noisy because I got the pump right in front of my microphone. But that is hose from the vacuum pump going over to the inlet of the lathe. And so this has bearings in it. So when I turn the lathe on, this hose doesn't turn, right? The handle turns. So the bearings are in this part is spinning, this part is not. So that's free. So that's handy. That's a great way to use a vacuum adapter. I'm going to put it back in this bag here. I've got petroleum jelly or silicone grease or something like that on there to keep those lubricated. So I just stick the whole thing with some spare O-rings over the end. Before I had this part on here, it was just an open hose. And if let me move this back a little bit, that's going to tip back a little bit there. If we look at the frugal vacuum chuck, it is this thing here that's got a vacuum chuck with a big tube on the end. So I wonder if I can do this. I have to put this down for a second. So what this has in there is a bearing in the base of the chuck right there. Right? You can see that thing spinning. That means this whole tube spins. So what this means is that this whole thing goes through the headstock, and then show this back end first. This chuck here is threaded 1 1/4 by 8 for my lathe, and that screws on the chuck, and what you get out the backside is this tube sticking out. So now all I need to do is take this orange hose, and instead of using the adapter here, I would take this hose off, which I can't get off now because it's barbed, and that hose would go right onto there. And so that means that instead of vacuum sucking through the spindle, the actual headstock, it's sucking through just this tube. What I didn't like about it was that rattling around there. So when I turn the lathe on, this hose stays still, but the whole chuck is turning on this side, so over here, right? So that is the difference between the two sort of systems. I don't know what the terms are for them, but let's see. Let me get that up here out of the way, and I've got to bring my tailstock back up a little bit for, let's see. Cindy says, noise not bad at all. Okay, good. Interesting. Okay, David, since Frugal Vacuum Pump already has a vacuum gauge, manifold, etc., can you simply buy only the parts needed, like the hose and fittings from Robust? Yeah, I don't know if you can get just those parts from Robust, but honestly, the only thing I needed, David, was I don't know if it'll reach, was this part here. And not lose those O-rings. This part here is all I needed, with a little sort of barbed hose adapter. So you may be able to pick this part up locally, get this part from Robust or me. I think I have them for sale. I don't know if I have any in stock though right now. Good question. So that's all I needed was this part and this brass fitting, which is, I've got one in this hardware kit. I don't know. I'm not a air guy or whatever, so I don't know what they're called, but they're adapters from the NPT fitting to a barbed hose fitting. Let me just zoom in on that a little bit. That guy. One of those, and this guy is all I needed. And this is the Frugal Vacuum Chuck hose. I just left it on there. I didn't change anything on my Frugal Vacuum Chuck. So yeah, I don't think you need the hardware kit. I think, David, all you need is this part and what do they call that thing? Let's see. I'm going to switch over to bear with me a second as I kind of set this up. So if we go to Robust, I should have this a little bit better set up. I don't know. I thought I had these set up already. If I did, it might be on the 4th page. Nope. There it is. Vacuum adapter for the American Beauty or the Powermatic. What kind of lathe do you have, David? That's a good question. So you may have a different adapter, maybe from a different manufacturer to get. So good question. These are, what, 109. and I don't think I have any. So I do. Maybe I do have. Oh, I have this one in stock, so I got to take that out of stock. So, good question though. Thank you. Let me get back over here. Tony asks, wouldn't one advantage being more vacuum pressure when using the smaller line? No, actually, it's actually the reverse. Brent has a good sort of description of vacuum pump on the website there. I think I copied some of it, but if I look at these three vacuum chucks, let me get the other two out here. So between the 3 1/4, 4 1/2, and 6 inch, I'm going to have much more holding power with this bigger one. Let me just move the camera the other way. I'm going to have more holding power with the larger chuck than I will with the small chuck. So there'll be more pounds of force holding something on this guy than on this guy. So the bigger the volume, the larger the pounds of force grip you're going to have. So that's counterintuitive in a way. We would think that maybe there might be more holding power on the narrower line, but no. So I don't know whether that really matters through this tube or through the spindle. The spindle is about 5/8 or thereabouts. Yeah, 5/8, I think. And so more vacuum pressure through a 5/8 shaft versus a 3/8 shaft or a 1/4 inch shaft. I don't think that's the concern. I think the concern is how much volume you're pulling out on the end of the chuck. So if people got a different opinion, let us know. We can have a conversation. I'm pretty sure you can buy just parts from a bus. That's what I did. I already had a working vacuum system. Yeah, you can get the adapter. I think you maybe get the individual spare parts. I'm not sure though. I haven't seen that far. The bar you can get at a hardware store. Yeah, John, absolutely. So David, pick it up at the hardware store when the snow clears, and then get the adapter. Rotary adapter, yes, that's this part. Good when I was suffering for the terminology. Yeah, rotary adapter because it's rotary, it's freewheeling, and vacuum rotary adapter, I guess. Let's see. Connie's asking, Todd, do you know what the size of the Ruth lathe spindle hole is where the part with the O-ring goes in? Yeah, I believe it's 5/8. Let me just measure quickly here, just by eye. It might be, yeah, 5/8. It looks like to me. I get my calipers out. I don't know if I have calipers out, but I believe that's what the. I do have some old calipers. The Morris taper goes, yeah, it's 5/8. Let me take this frugal vacuum chuck off here. Get that guy a little bit out of the way. If we look at a Morris taper device, typically Morris tapers are about 0.7 inches down to 1/2 inch, and then 5/8 grabs at the shaft. So yeah, that's 5/8 down there. So that's about what it is. This one is machined for the Robust and American Beauty. The Robust American Beauty and the Powermatic have the same spindle hole. Anyway, so let me just carry on with the questions here because I know there's more. Pump downtime would be the difference. Not sure what that's referring to, Ted. Vacuum holding power is based on the square inches, not volume. Yes, yeah. Square inches on the surface it's holding, probably true. Probably true, yeah, not the actual volume. So if this little guy was this long, but still the same diameter, still the same holding power. Because, yeah, Cindy's right. It's on the square inch surface of this flat surface here. Good point. Let's see. Wayne posted the list, robust vacuum systems. Good. Todd, not the volume. What counts surface area? Yeah, we just, Cindy corrected me on that. You're right. It's the size of the surface area of the chuck. Excuse me. So the bigger the size, the more holding power. So let's maybe use one, right? I do want to, yeah. So we'll use one because I've got something else in mind as well to talk about as we do that. Let me put these over here. Just got to move a few things. Oh, there we go. All right. Maybe a little bit of cleanup to do at some point. All right. So I've got an idea. We'll see how it works. I've got this little vacuum chuck, and let me just see. Okay, that's still working. And I found this bowl core that I cut out. I think it's Bradford pear. Has a nice, fairly flat surface, and I thought, well, maybe I can just hold it to turn a tenon on it, right? So let's give that a shot. So we're going to put this small vacuum chuck on here because that's the only one that's going to fit this guy in terms of surface area. By the way, these silicon rings are kind of soft and rubbery, and those are, you can buy replacements of those as well if you need them. So plugging in the adapter into the other end, got that in. Vacuum pump is on. So now I've got vacuum draw. Oh, I got to turn the handle. You're not seeing that. So I've got a little bit of vacuum draw there, just enough to hold it, but not enough to make it very hard for me to center this. So I'm going to take my tailstock live center, bring it up just for a point of reference so that I can then center this thing up by eye. So I've got just a little bit of vacuum on it so I can push it around. And that is high here. That's looking pretty good. I'm just going to get my tool rest. Just to kind of see this gap here a little bit, let me zoom in a bit more. This is my trackpad, by the way, just so you know. And it's looking pretty good. What I'm going to do is just turn up the pump all the way. We're getting 22 and a half inches of mercury, if you will. I'm going to turn this on slow and draw a circle on the back side here just to kind of see where we are all around. So on this side, I am half an inch, quarter of the way around. Let's see, that was top dead center. So still half an inch, that one, just over half an inch. half an inch. So I think I'm pretty well centered. So with that all the way on, I just want to see. I can. That's hard to pull. There we go. I got it off. So that's a pretty strong pull, right? So I'm going to turn the vacuum down a little bit. I've got this circle now to reference on, and I can get a bit more vacuum. There we go. And now I'm able to kind of push that circle back into place. Close enough. Vacuum all the way on. We're going to do this without tailstock support, just to prove to me and maybe to others that this vacuum is going to be good enough. So I need to kind of figure out what size of chuck to use, and measure that opening. So I'll use this little Axminster 3-in-1 O'Donnell jaw chuck. It's the SK100. I'll measure the opening there. And go a little bit wider. This might be too big for this little bowl in reality, but I think we'll be, and I've got this inner, am I going to be clear to do that? I think so. I think we'll give that a go. Let me do something else for a second. Multi-view. There we go. Home. All right. So now to kind of measure that. Oh, this is how I was going to show. I'm actually going to put the tailstock up for a second. So, because I got this little gadget I created. All right. So I've got here a little radius gauge. So that's what I'm calling it. It's got markings in millimeters, 25, 50, 75. Every 5 millimeters, there's a little groove. It's got a little hook on the end. It's going to hook on there. And going to allow me to kind of mark out my millimeters. So this is, if I can see that mark, almost 60 millimeters, 58. So we'll go 60, which is the diameter. So I have to go with 30 millimeters in radius. So I hold that on there. It just rides on a plastic on there. Not really a bother. And get it in the 30 millimeter spot. This is kind of difficult with this. So now we got a line on there. Let's see how close it is. It's got a little magnet on the back, by the way. So it hangs on my lathe, wherever I want to hood it. So let's measure that to see. And I wonder if, let me try, let me just focus and zoom this guy in a little bit to see first how well it's looking. All right. So there's the circle. Here's our mark. And we are pretty close, a little bit skinny. But let's try this side. Maybe I can reach in. Not quite reach in that far. But if I go right across the diameter line, I am maybe 1 millimeter out on this side. That doesn't have a mark. So there's a faint mark here, which I can see. Yeah, we're out about 2 millimeters on that one, but I think that's going to be fine for what I'm doing. And again, we'll trust the vacuum, and we'll cut a little tenon. Let's see, I do. I had a few gouges and tools out just at the end of December, my last live stream, and 15 minutes to go. And so I thought I'd just sharpen those, and that's all I have here. So I got a bowl gouge, parting tool, spindle, not a spindle, what do you call it? Skew. See, I can't remember the names of these things. It's been so long. Does the robust system work with the Laguna 1836? I couldn't tell you. I don't know what that is in terms of its spindle size on the handle end. All right, let's carry on. So I'm kind of standing back out of the way. If we look at the oh, for crying out loud. I got to get that fixed. If I look at I'm standing at the side of it, so if this is going to go anywhere, it's going to go in line with that way, so I'm not in the way. Turn up the speed a little bit. I'm going to take light cuts, cutting in just before that line. Sorry, just at that line. Very gently. I don't need a very deep tenon. I'm going to get that skew. Do a little bit of scraping there to cut that tenon. It is dovetailed, so I want to dovetail it in a little bit. You know what I need? I need a bit more light. Do I have that plugged in? I do. That's Cindy Drozd's mini LED light. So these are freshly sharpened tools, not going very fast. Somewhere at 9,000 RPM, maybe 960,000. Let's see if we got all the way around. This is a little bit off center. I got to go deeper because this side's not got a tenon. So take it in small bites. I will have to create a flat on this area here because of the way the chuck jaws are oriented. See if that went all the way around. Enough. It's enough there. It's enough there. I think that'll work for a tenon. And I've just got to flatten or remove some from the area around that tenon. I'll go this way so I'm out of the line of fire. My tool is up a little high. Little skating there going on. flatten that out a bit more. Okay, so I've got my jaws are only really accept about 3 millimeters of a tenon, and then they're solid down here. So that's why I kind of had to remove some here. So I've got 3 millimeters here, and all the way around. Looks pretty good, pretty consistent. A little shallower here, but that's fine. And then the flat area here. So that should fit on my chuck. Let's see if it does. This is this key, I think. Yep, that will work. I've got contact all the way around, and that vacuum's even holding that chuck. That's pretty good. All right, so there we go. A vacuum chuck created that tenon. So let's go ahead and turn this little bowl. I don't know why I did it this way. I just thought that'd be a good challenge. Didn't need to do it that way. But there you go. I don't even really need to take out this guy at this point. I can just leave it in for the turning session. Put my other chuck on. This tape here is just to hold those set screws. I lost one a while ago. And so doing it obviously backwards with creating a inside of the bowl first and then the outside is a bit different, but I'll just use the vacuum chuck to hold the inside of the bowl when I'm done. So it goes down there. So now I got this well in there. Oops, that way. So now we can carve out the inside of our bowl. And just got my tailstock a little bit out of the way. And now we are just bowl turning. And I wonder if maybe this guy can go over there. See what that looks like. Is that an okay view, I guess? A little bit more speed. Well, I haven't turned in a long time, I tell you. This is a robust half-inch bowl gouge. All right, so while I'm doing this, let me stop for a second and do I sell that gauge? Tony, I don't. What I'm going to do today is give one away as part of the raffle. So, good question. Here's what we're going to do for the raffle is we're going to give one of these guys away along with one of these. So, radius gauge with the magnet in it, woodturningtoolstore.com on there, and then a 25, 60, 40 degree angle tester. I don't know that I use the 40 degree. I don't have a 40 degree out here, but I've got another angle gauge I've started to create. These are prototypes. They may go on sale here soon. Not quite sure. So let me get we're also going to give away 2 tickets to my upcoming ring segmented PRD. And I think, let me command tab. Did I not? I'm not finding that. Bear with me a second as I. There it is. Yes, I'm collecting. Okay, good. So, folks, if you add in pound FEB PRD into the chat, we'll get the raffle going as we go. So, there we go. Thank you, Ian. Paul, looks good. I've made my window too small, and maybe this is the way to do it. Window. Yes. Okay, we're getting entries. So good. Yeah, Feb PRD, exactly like these folks have done. Dan, FEB PRD. PRD is a personal remote demo. It's a ticketed sort of sale thing. So we'll give away 2 tickets to that, as well as a third drawing for these guys. So first 2 winners get the tickets, and then the last one will get the 3D printed gauges that I looked at. So the radius gauge and an angle gauge. If the winner of the gauges would be so kind, they could give me some feedback on how they work. So that would be good. Yeah, all looking good. I don't see any mistakes yet. Doesn't have to be. This is fine too. So if it's all little case letters, doesn't matter as long as it's FEB PRD all together with the pound sign. So all looking good. Good stuff. So while you're kind of putting those in there for the next couple of minutes, I'm just going to do a bit more turning here. Not a whole lot because oh, there is a button up there, hide current comment. Because we're just about done with what we're doing today. If you folks have any questions about the products we looked at today, the techniques or whatever, just give me an email, give me a call. We can go through what we kind of talked about today. I will have the tickets for the PRD up this weekend. Don't forget tomorrow, Cindy's fabulous finial box, famous and fabulous finial box demos tomorrow. Just gauging the depth. I still got a good ½ inch to go. All right. Got a little bit of bounce there. Scraping might take some of those bounce marks out. Something going on right down there. Some wormholes, I think, bounced me around. So that, I think, was causing me to bounce a little bit. Got some chatter marks down there. I don't have any scrapers out, but we're going to work on that later. And so there you go. Used a little vacuum chuck, and I can get that in there to reverse it as well. Not the ideal way to make a bowl, but I wanted to prove that it could be done. I could hold the face of this guy on with the vacuum chuck, turn the tenon. And that worked well. So if you are bowl coring, that is something you can think about doing. Is if you have you core your bowl, you make this face nice and clean, core out your core, take your core, mount it on your vacuum chuck just to turn a quick tenon. That would work. You could also just pinch it between the bowl you cored and reverse jam chuck it in there with the tailstock. So, but always options out there, and so it's always good to have those options. All right, so let me well, I gotta bring up my tailstock here to just get my trackpad more than anything in front of me. So let me go back here, put that up. Oh, I have to fix those buttons. Let's see what we got going here. We have 53 entries, so we have about 80 people watching on this platform, and I don't know how many on YouTube, but maybe that's total. I'm not sure. So if you haven't entered February or Feb PRD, then last few minutes, last few seconds to do it. And we'll give away a ticket to this IRD behind me, the ring segmented sculpture. That's going to happen February 22nd. And then we'll give away these two gizmos, a angle gauge and a radius gauge. All right, so let's go ahead and top of the hour, we'll pick the first one. Oh, I got to get that window. I should put that on the other window. There we go. That's a bit easier. All right. I am going to, in 3, 2, 1, I'll start that again, draw. So last few people entering, 3, 2, 1. Here's for the ticket, first ticket. And if I see Cindy entered. Nicely done. Jerry Bochanek. So hopefully I didn't butcher that name, Jerry. Congratulations. You're on StreamYard on air, so I have your email, so I can send you a ticket, no problem. So Jerry, congratulations. Well done. We're going to do another drawing here in just a second. There we go. Second ticket to this PRD that's behind me. Ring segmented sculpture idea. GPN company, well done on YouTube. So if you have an email address, you're going to have to send that to me. I might be able to find it off your YouTube about you sort of thing. So thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And you'll get a ticket to the PRD. So the last drawing will be for these two guys, a angle gauge and a radius gauge. I showed the radius gauge off today. Hooks on the end of your standard 3/4 by 10 live center thread, and able to use the serrated edge or whatever, if you will, indents to mark out your radius. Remember, it's half your tenon diameter. So use that. So let's draw again for that. And congratulations, everybody. And good luck. Last winner is and I'm not secretly hoping it's somebody in the States, but Robert Koch, thank you very much. So you're on StreamYard. I'll get that to you. I've got your email. I'll connect with you. We'll get your shipping address, and we'll get that out to you. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Cindy, you did not win. Sorry about that. So there we go. So that's it for the drawing. Let me turn that banner off. There we go. And get back to the comments. You're welcome, Robert. Thank you very much for joining today. Well done, all winners. Absolutely. Congratulations to those folks. I'll have to look it up on the replay and connect with that. So, good. Thank you. Send me an email so I get your email. We can continue this conversation there. Let's see. So, actually, let me just jump back here. So there's my email, Todd@Woodturning Tool Store. So if you want to email that, and then we can get you your ticket. You're welcome, everybody. Glad to have you here. Thank you, David. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate it. Interesting demo. Yeah, I believe it's kind of what was in my head at the time, and it was something that I had meant to answer for David quite a while ago. So Cindy's live stream, her demos tomorrow. Check that out. Sign up today. Watch my demo on the 22nd, and then on the 28th is the sharing session. One thing I forgot, April 5th is the vendor showcase. But thank you for watching. So appreciate everybody joining today. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. And hope to see you tomorrow at Cindy's demo and here next week for Cindy's live stream. I'll be back in 2 weeks. I think will be the sharing session, so I won't have a live stream in 2 weeks. It'll be the Zoom sharing session. So is that right? 7th plus 21, 28th. Yeah, that's right. So I will be back live streaming in, I guess, 3-4 weeks, thereabouts. So yeah, it's kind of bad. I like doing every 2 weeks. I might have to think about that. Sending it out, we'll get together and talk about the sharing session. Anyway, that's it for me. Have a great weekend. Have fun out in your shops and be kind to one another. And we'll see you all next time. Bye, y'all.